What's up, fam? Thanks for tuning in once again, or for the very first time. I'm Jasper the Filmy. If you use the ZingYou BM-800 microphone, I think that's how you pronounce it, ZingYou. It's a foreign name, don't kill me. But if you use this microphone for your podcast, you probably know that it does a pretty good job. But I actually found out a way you can beef up the sound on this microphone to make it sound 100 times better than what it would on the normal basis. And I'm going to show you guys in this video the tools and the tricks that I use to beef this guy up to make it sound like it's something much greater than what it is. Let's go. So the first thing you need to know is the tools that I'm using to pull this off. You're going to obviously need the ZingYou microphone. That goes without saying, right? Then you will need to have the Depusheng Phantom Power Box. Depusheng, I think that's how you pronounce it. Another foreign name, don't butcher me for that. Then you will also need to have an XLR to USB cable. Now, I actually added the links to all of these things in the description of this video that will allow you to purchase all of this stuff on Amazon, just so that you can know what I'm using in particular. Now, I don't say that other things won't work in this matter, but these are all things that aren't that expensive. So if you're somebody that's trying to get that podcast going on a low budget because you don't have a very big bank to break like me, I got you covered. These are all low price things, and you can see that they work pretty well in this scenario. So just to do a quick rundown on the setup, it's actually pretty simple. I figured there was no need to show you guys how to create the adjustable arm, because at the end of the day it's just an adjustable clamp that you put at the edge of the table. Pretty self-explanatory. But with the Depusheng, one of the reasons why I recommended it is because it comes with 2 XLR cables. That's right, so that's another way you can save a little bit of money. And one of those XLR cables you would plug into the back of the Depusheng, and then the other end would go into the ZingYou BM-800 microphone. With the USB to XLR or XLR to USB, you will plug that into the back of the Depusheng and into the USB port of your computer. Now for me, I have a MacBook, so I actually needed an adapter because, as you guys know, the newest MacBook Pros only have Lightning ports on them. So I needed that adapter to go from USB-C to Lightning to plug it up. So thanks, Apple, you made me spend more money. Not being salty, but yeah, that's how that works. So once you have this set up, then there's a question that you need to ask yourself. Matter of fact, here's the 2 scenarios that you could think of. If you're doing a podcast that's going to go on to podcasting platforms like Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple, whatever, there is a scenario you can consider with having that audio recorded first, and then you can go back and edit it on a DAW or an audio engineering platform. Then there's also another scenario you may want to consider if you are someone that is like me, that actually records your podcast while you're doing an actual video stream. Then obviously you would need to have a software that will allow you to enhance your audio live, so that when you're doing that stream, people will hear the audio that you want them to hear. So here's the deal. You don't need to have a very advanced audio software program or DAW, digital audio workstation, to edit that audio live. But you do need to have a program that will allow you to route that audio to the Zoom call live. And this is where the magic happens, guys. So pay close attention, because most people that actually mix their audio for a stream uses a mixing board or audio interface where they can turn the knob and change the low, mids, highs, the low cut, and so on and whatnot. But with this program that I found, you could actually virtually connect your DAW to the Zoom, and I added a link to the description of this program in this video. It's called BlackHole, and it's absolutely free to download. You have to sign up for it with an email address, and then when you sign up for it, they send you an email instantaneously to the link that will allow you to download it onto your computer. But if you have a MacBook, what you would have to do after you install it, like any other program for that matter, you then have to go into the utilities of your computer and then from the utilities to audio MIDI setup. And then on the lower left hand corner of the screen, you're going to see a little plus symbol. When you click that plus symbol, you're going to select the multiple channel tool that will allow you to recognize BlackHole. And then on top of that, you want to click the far right portion where you check it off for drifting, because the drifting portion is going to pretty much allow it to stream properly, and it's also going to allow the software to communicate properly with Zoom. Once you do that, you open up GarageBand or whatever DAW that you're using, and then you set up a new project like how you would do any other thing. And then from there, you would go into the settings where you can adjust the audio so that you can pick it up from BlackHole. That's going to be the output, and then the input is going to be the microphone, the ZingYou microphone, and it's going to show as a USB audio device. Once you do that, you then have the ability to edit that audio as if it was an audio interface. This is basically a virtual audio interface. Now, everybody has their preferences on how their settings would be there, but usually for me, what I like to have is a little bit of a compressor with a little bit of low cut and heavy bass. I love heavy bass in most of my videos. If you pay close attention even to this audio, you hear a good little bit of a bass boost, because I'm not gonna lie, I kind of have that voice that's like Chris Rock, high pitched and pitchy sometimes. So when I add that bass into it, it kind of levels it out a little bit. Then I add slightly a little bit reverb, and then I'm ready to go. And once you have that set, then you now can open up your Zoom call. When you open up Zoom, you can then set your preferences to pick up your settings in GarageBand for that Zoom call. You go into the preferences of Zoom and you select the output to be the MacBook Pro speakers or the system is needed. And then you would select the input to be the multi-output device, which will pick up what you have in GarageBand. Now, something you want to make sure you do with this setting is have some headphones, obviously, so that the audio won't be coming out of the speakers and you will get this feedback that will be killing everybody, so you can hear what you're doing. Okay, so one more thing that you want to make sure you don't forget is setting your audio preferences so you can switch the audio settings in the Zoom call. And the way you would do that is by going into your preferences and selecting advanced. After you select advanced, you would click on the checkbox that says show in meeting option to enable original sound from microphone. So when you open up the Zoom call, you then have the ability to turn on the original sound, and it will be on the top left hand corner of the Zoom call. Now what I'm gonna do is actually switch on over to the microphone, and you guys can hear how that audio sounds in the end and how it will look in the end after it's all said and done. Alright, so right here is actually the audio that you would hear from the ZingYou mic without any plugins or any inputs or editing at all. So what I'm gonna do now is switch over the feed so you can hear the adjustments I made in GarageBand and how it will sound live with the Zoom call. So let's go ahead and let's do that. So as you can see, this is actually the way the ZingYou sounds once it's routed into GarageBand, and it's really warm, has very crisp sound to it. The low is really defined. The reverb is not too bad. It's ready for a show. It's good to go. And if you would like to see me in action in one of the podcasts that I co-host, I would definitely like to invite you to a show that I do with the legendary Doc Freeman, who is a great producer and beat maker. He gives me a lot of audio tips, and a lot of the tips he gave me helped me with this video right here. So if you'd like to see one of the shows that we done together as an interview, you can click on this video right here and it will take you to one of our interviews. And of course, if you'd like to learn more about me, you could always click on this video right here and it will take you to some more content that I do on this channel. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please hit that like button. Hopefully you subscribe so that you can stay tuned for greatness.